Hello everyone, great to see you again. So today we are going to work on this Golf. It's a Mark 1 and it was made from 1978, and this is actually the version from 1982, I believe. I'm not sure. As you can see, this is in not that good shape anymore. It's missing one headlight, which is really common for this kind of model because the the headlights were part of the windscreen and they went down under the bonnet, and when you press the suspension too hard the headlight fell out, so kind of stupid, I think. So here we got it in the shop. You can see there's the missing headlight, and the boot lid is actually kind of bent, so we have to try to bend this back again. And yeah, it has some nice suspension, but however the suspension was designed in a way to break the headlights, so I think that's the worst part. You can see there it broke, and this is the interior. So if you get it out, it's a really nice interior. It has some details in the back there, and those are the same details as were used on the Fiat Ritmo a couple years later. And I had one of those Ritmos as a child, and this was one of the reasons why I loved it very much. So as you can see, the typical steering wheel here, and now there's the missing headlight, and the rest of the windshield is good. Now there you can take it out really easy. Just press this in there, so you can take out the wire and the wheels fall out then. Now we have to do something about this missing headlight, so I'm putting a piece of transparent plastic. You get this with model kits. They are the injections of the molding, and if you keep them you can put them inside your drill, file them a little bit, and oops, so that they actually fit into the holes. So now we're going to paint it. We are going to paint it a typical Golf Mark 1 color, which is this yellow, because this is one of the very first ones, and this is a nice color for such an old one. Now of course in real life many of them were white and those kind of colors, but I think this yellow really suits it, so I'm going to go for it. And actually my grandpa had one of the very first Golf Mark 1s in 1974. I think he got his when it was in the first 3 weeks it was made, so he was really proud of this one. Now anyway, so I've mixed this color out of Tamiya paint, and it has a drop of blue in it too, because the original color is kind of strange. I've only looked it up on photographs. However, this color is strange too, because on artificial light it looks a little greenish, but on sunlight it looks totally yellow. So, and this was the same thing with the real car, I think, because on the photographs I looked at, it seemed a little different from under every perspective. So now I think this should be enough, and I'm just going to put it under a bowl because I don't want any dust to stick to the paint. And now I'm painting a little part of the base too. This one actually has a little GTI spoiler on it, which shouldn't be on the regular one. They included it on this one anyway, and I will leave it on there because I kinda like it. Now I also thought about making this into a GTI, but it's a 4-door version, and I think there was a Golf Mark 1 GTI with 4 doors, but it was the later release, the last release, and this is actually the first Golf Mark 1 release, so I think we're going to do this as standard one. And now I'm just painting a little stripe under the grille, because this grille is actually a little wrong, because if you look at the real Golf Mark 1s, you can see that the VW sign is much smaller and the grille gets interrupted by the headlights, so the grille is a little bit too bulky on this one. So I'm just going to paint a yellow stripe onto it so that it looks a little more realistic. And now I'm just going to remove the masking tape and let's see if it worked. So I sprayed very thin layers on this so that the paint won't run, but it looks good, and yeah, I think this turned out a success. Now it's extremely thin and you can't see it that well. I also still have to paint in the bumper, but when this will be finished it will probably look quite good. There we go. So I can't wait to get this onto my Golf. I also installed the headlights just with some clear parts glue. As you can see, I replaced both, and there you can see the painted interior, and I'm going to have a lot of fun painting up those little details in the back there. So this has been it. So as you can see, it looked very shabby. Nice casting although, and you don't find these every day, but it's not that they are super rare, you can still find them. And yeah, this is what it turned up like. I've spent some time painting in the detail. It didn't turn out perfect, but my work never turns out perfect. I will always find something to complain about, but if you have nothing to complain anymore, I mean, what's the point on still doing it? There always has to be some room for improvements. So you can see I've painted up all the as much as possible, and I've painted up the shoes in the rear too, and the number plate, and yeah, I'm not that happy with the Golf sign on the back. I might redo this in the future because I still have some of this yellow paint left, but on all the rest I think it looks quite good. So this was it. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. Tell me what you think about this in the comments. I know in the States this was known as the Rabbit, and is essentially the same car. So here we're just taking a closer look onto the tennis rackets I painted up, and I've made the shoes in white with the Nike logo on them, just to give them, not because I'm a fan, just because I wanted to give them a little more detail and make them a little more realistic. So here now you can see the iconic Mark 1 front, and this is it. So as I said, feel free to subscribe, tell me what you think about it in the comments, what I could improve, and see you next time.